ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಗೋಷ್ಠಿಗೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ಇವತ್ತು ಮಾಧ್ಯಮ ಗೋಷ್ಠಿಗೆ ವಿಶೇಷವಾದಂಥ ನಮ್ಮ ಶ್ರೀ ಉತ್ತಮ್ ಕುಮಾರ್ ರೆಡ್ಡಿ ಅವರು ಇವತ್ತು ತೆಲಂಗಾಣದಿಂದ ಇವತ್ತು ಒಂದು ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ವಿಷಯದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಪತ್ರಿಕಾಗೋಷ್ಠಿ ನಡೆಸಲು ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರು ತಮಗೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋ ಹಾಗೆ 5 ಬಾರಿ ಶಾಸಕರಾಗಿದ್ದು ಮಾಜಿ TPCC ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರು ಕೂಡ ಆಗಿ ಕಾರ್ಯನಿರ್ವಹಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೂಡ ಫಾರ್ಮರ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೂಡ ಕಾರ್ಯನಿರ್ವಹಿಸಿ ಇವಾಗ ಪಾರ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ನಲ್ಕೊಂಡ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಮತ್ತು ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿ ಅವರು ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ಸೈನಿಕರಾಗಿ ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು ಸೇವೆಯನ್ನು ಸಲ್ಲಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. He was the former fighter pilot for the Indian Air Force and he's flown MiG 21 and 29, and also, if I am not mistaken, he's also served and had the privilege of serving the President of India for his foreign visits as a protocol head as well. So today he will be addressing the press on national security issue. So ತಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಸಹಕಾರ ಮತ್ತು ಸಹಾಯ ಕೋರ್ತಾ ಅದರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾರ್ಯಾಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರಾದಂಥ ಸರಿ ನಮ್ಮದು ಚಿರಪರಿಚಿತರಾದಂಥ ಮಾಜಿ ಶಾಸಕರಾದಂಥ ರಮೇಶ್ ಬಾಬು ಅವರು, ಶಾಸಕರಾದಂಥ ನಾಗರಾಜ್ ಸಾಹೇಬರು ಮತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಷನ್ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟಿನ ಕೋಚರ್ ಆದಂಥ ಮನ್ಸೂರ್ ಅವರು ಕೂಡ ಇವತ್ತು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾಗವಹಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈಗ ಉತ್ತಮ್ ರೆಡ್ಡಿ ಅವರು ತಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಉದ್ದೇಶಿಸಿ ಮಾತನಾಡ್ತಾರೆ.
Okay. Do I need to press this?
Yeah, it's on.
Okay. Colleagues on the dais and friends in the media, thank you for coming. Priyank, thank you for the introduction. I just take one line to introduce myself again. Besides being a present member of parliament and I've been an MLA for many terms in Telangana, I was also a fighter pilot in the Indian Air Force, and I've served on the Indo-China and Indo-Pakistan border for many years. So today, basically, I'm speaking about how the BJP government and the BJP party, while they talk so much about nationalism and how much they are concerned about the nation's security, it's shocking and it is really disturbing that BJP is showing a willingness to flirt with anti-national forces in many incidents. And I'll list out the incidents to you, and I'll also explain the photographs that have been given to you. And what is really shocking is the Prime Minister of the country, Shri Narendra Modi, and the Home Minister of the country, Mr. Amit Shah, have till date maintained a deafening silence on all these issues. The Indian National Congress does not believe in playing politics over serious issues like terrorism and national security. However, multiple revelations of close link between the Bharatiya Janata Party and individuals caught in terror activities force us to ask some straight question of a ruling party that loses no opportunity to preach to all of us about nationalism. We also thought the country at large, they must be made aware of these links of the Bharatiya Janata Party with people associated with serious terror activity. You know, the recent horrific incident in Udaipur, where a tailor by the name Kanalal was in a very gruesome, horrific murder, was murdered by 2 individuals named Mohammed Riyaz Attari and Mohammed Gauss. It has come to light with concrete evidence now that Mohammed Riyaz Attari was a whole-time BJP worker. And it has also come to light, Attari was employed by the BJP's leader of opposition in the Rajasthan Vidhan Sabha, Gulab Chand Kataria. he was seen attending numerous party programs in the presence of senior BJP leaders. Now friends, I'd like you to have a look at a screenshot of a Facebook post that we have given you. This Riaz Attari's photograph is the one on the bottom left. He is with Muhammad Tahir and Irshad Chainwala, where they are whole time, workers of the BJP minority morcha and recognized, well known as, the Muslim face of the BJP in Rajasthan. Now, this gentleman, the main accused in the Udaipur murder case of killing of Taylor Kanayalal, you can see in the Facebook post, this is a screenshot, and this was in the year 2019, where he is being described as Riaz Attari, BJP Karyakarta ko Umrah ki वगैरह वगैरह, how he has gone and this BJP Karyakarta has gone and prayed and all that. So, proving beyond doubt that the main accused in the Udaipur incident is a BJP worker, and the Congress party today throughout the country has decided to release these photographs for the whole country to know about what is going on. Then, the other thing which media friends I'd like you to notice, the astonishing hurry in which the central government took over the case and transferred it to the NIA. Our Chief Minister welcomed this step and said that the Rajasthan police will cooperate with NIA within an hour of the central government announcing that NIA would investigate. But today, after this, it has come to light that Riaz Attari was a BJP worker. There are question marks that why was the center in such a hurry to hand over this case to the NIA? Was it to suppress Riaz Attari's BJP background is a question in everybody's mind. I would like to also, bring to you a series of other incidents where BJP workers and leaders, whole time, it's not even that there is some suspicion whether they are in BJP or not, have been involved in other terror activities. In Jammu and Kashmir, recently, a recognized Lashkar-e-Toiba terrorist, Talib Hussain Shah, who had been captured by locals, this is about a week, 10 days back, was revealed to be a BJP office bearer in Jammu and Kashmir. Shah had previously been seen in photos with Home Minister Amit Shah and other senior BJP leaders. When arrested, he had been planning attacks on the Amarnath Yatra. Now, I would like you to please look at this photograph in which Mr. Amit Shah is sitting in the front, and this gentleman, Talib Hussain Shah, is standing behind him. And he was just not a BJP worker. He was the head of the IT cell of the minority morcha of the Jammu and Kashmir BJP minority morcha. He was the IT and social media head, and when he was caught, he was found to be a dreaded terrorist. After arrest, Lashkar-e-Toiba terrorist Talib Hussain Shah's apparent links to the BJP emerged, and so much so that within the BJP party they found that he was given an appointment by Jammu minority minority morcha BJP president Sheikh Bashir, appointing him as the IT and social media cell head. Now this to someone, Shah, who is an elite commander, who was the alleged mastermind behind a series of exploration in his home district of Rajouri, and his associate Faisal Ahmad Dar were overpowered by residents of the remote Tuksandok village in Riyasi district on July 3rd, this July 3rd, and were handed over to the local police. Two AK assault rifles, a pistol, 7 grenades and a large quantity of ammunition was recovered from them. Now pictures have emerged on social media showing this gentleman, this dreaded elite terrorist, with BJP leaders, including Union Home Minister Amit Shah. One of the pictures shows J&K BJP chief, Ravinder Raina presenting Shah with a bouquet, while a letter issued by party leader Sheikh Bashir on May 9th assigned him the role of the IT and social media in charge of the BJP party's minority morcha, Jammu province. Now you can imagine how serious this matter is, that the BJP party in the Udaipur incident and the Riyasi incident, active BJP workers have been found with serious terror links, and this from a party who continuously preach nationalism to everybody else in this country. Now, like I mentioned earlier, this was the second instance in a matter of days in which a person accused of allegedly terrorist acts had apparent links to the BJP. Riaz Atari, the person I mentioned earlier, is a man accused of brutally murdering Taylor Kanala in Udaipur. He was described as a dedicated party worker by BJP functionaries. Now, these are just two of the examples, and I also bring to your notice that we also found this Talib Hussain Shah was in constant touch with elite terrorist Qasim based in Pakistan and was involved in at least 3 cases of IED blasts in Rajouri district, besides civilian killings and grenade blasts. Now friends, now I will enumerate several further other incidents in which BJP party, BJP workers and leaders have had direct association with a series of terror incidents happening in the country today. And all of it, mind you, in all of them, neither the Prime Minister nor the Home Minister have at least given a clarification or opened their mouth on this subject. Now, as has been reported in the media, one Irfan Khan is accused of masterminding the murder of Amaravati chemist Umesh Kole, and this Irfan Khan was a chief campaigner of independent MP Navneet Rana and her husband Ravi Rana. Now everybody in Maharashtra knows that Navneet Rana MP and Ravi Rana have a very cozy relationship with the BJP. And the person who was one of their main campaigners is found to be the mastermind behind the murder of, this was a recent incident of Amaravati chemist Umesh Kole. Now, going back a little further, former BJP leader and ex-Sarpanch Tariq Ahmed Mir was arrested in 2020. This is all on record. I mean, none of this is speculation. These are all what we are telling you is well-researched facts. For procuring weapons. Hizbul Mujahideen commander Naveed Babu. Naveed Babu had previously been arrested along with DSP Devinder Singh and accused of supplying weapons to terrorists. The National Investigation Agency has confirmed that Mir is an associate of Devinder Singh's. Now, very strangely, under this government, this whole inquiry into Davinder Singh and Mir has been stopped halfway through by Narendra Modi government. Like I said earlier once, BJP is showing a disturbing willingness to flirt with anti-national forces, and it should concern all well-meaning citizens of India. Now go back a little more further. This is another photograph I have shown you of, please see a photograph of Dhruv Saxena. You will find him in BJP dress with the BJP cap and the RSS dress. I will give you a photograph of Dhruv Saxena also. In 2017, the Madhya Pradesh Anti-Terrorism Squad arrested the BJP IT cell member Dhruv Saxena along with 10 accomplices for spying for the ISI. The spy ring had set up an illegal telephone exchange to facilitate espionage. A picture of Saxena with Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan is also viral, and I have given you photographs of this Saxena in BJP party activity. Subsequent to that, in 2019, Balram Singh, a Bajrang Dal leader from the same state of Madhya Pradesh, was arrested in a terror funding case. Again, in another terror case in 2017, a special court of the NIA, National Investigation Agency, sentenced Assam BJP leader Niranjan Hojai to life imprisonment. He was found to have participated in a 1,000 crore scam where government funds were diverted to support the militant groups. The militant groups were used to buy weapons and carry out attacks on our security forces. And the person involved, Assam BJP leader Niranjan Hojai. Another incident. The BJP had willingly and knowingly given a ticket to Masood Azhar. Now, Masood Azhar is one of the main enemies of our country, located in Pakistan. He runs all the terror operations against India from Pakistan. The BJP had willingly and knowingly given a ticket to Masood Azhar's acolyte, Mohammad Farooq Khan, to contest the Srinagar municipal election from ward number 33. Khan was previously a member of the Jammu and Kashmir Liberation Front and Harkatul Mujahideen. Now, going back a little more, friends, I want to take you back a little more. How is Masood Azhar, who is internationally recognized as one of the biggest terrorists internationally, globally, and masterminding all terror operations against India. The BJP government has a dubious distinction of having released the dread terrorist Masood Azhar in 1999 during the Kandahar hijacking. Azhar went on to founded the Jaish-e-Mohammed terror group that was responsible for the 2001 Parliament attack and the 2008 Mumbai attacks that caused hundreds of deaths. The Jaish-e-Mohammed also masterminded the 2019 Pulwama attack, in which 44 CRPF personnel died after 200 kgs of high explosive RDX somehow made it past multiple security checkpoints. It would be interesting for the media to know. There has been no detailed inquiry into Pulwama, how 200 kgs of RDX has come into the country, and the huge incident, and which probably influenced the 2019 Parliament elections. Friends, as a person who served in the defense forces and as a patriotic Indian, as somebody who's been very long term in both legislative bodies and in Parliament, what I have presented to you is very, very disturbing facts. A party which talks all the time about nationalism, a party which doesn't, leave any opportunity to defame its political opponents with wrong facts, with kind of fake news. Look at the pile of evidence against them. It is really seriously disturbing. And also, I'm personally shocked that, and so should you be, in the Udaipur incident, in the Riyasi incident in Jammu and Kashmir, not a word from the Prime Minister or from the Home Minister. At least, okay, these incidents have happened, there should be no communal tensions, we will take care of the culprits. No such reassuring words in either incident by the Prime Minister or Home Minister. And no word from an appropriate level on what is, concrete evidence presented by the Congress party on the links of BJP with these terror groups. It really disturbs me and causes concern. Is the BJP trying to create communal disturbances on a big scale in India? Earlier it was polarization of our society for electoral gains. Are they going a step ahead to disturb totally the communal harmony in this country? We have presented the evidence to you, and we feel there is overwhelming evidence that the BJP has links with people who are actively involved in terror activity. Thank you.
Two questions. Now, you did mention about the national security perspective as far as the BJP and their workers are involved in this. Now, similarly, a lot of questions have been raised over the Agnipath scheme and how it would eventually affect national security. We've just seen yesterday former Japanese Prime Minister who was assassinated. Some reports suggest that this particular killer, he had served in the army for about 3 years. A similar scheme there as well, where initially they joined. Do you see a pattern of this or any security threat with some people who were serving in the army for 4 years, then don't of course be recruited, come back into the society? Do you see it as a potential risk?
Okay, friend. For you, it will be of some matter of interest for you to know my background. I'm a graduate of the National Defence Academy, and I went on to become a fighter pilot. My training itself took 4.5 years. And look at the Agnipath scheme. It is 6 months training and 4 years of service. Means 6 months training and 3.5 years service. In 4 years, you are out on civil street. See, as a responsible ex-serviceman, I'd not like to link the two, but I'll tell you something. I'm also a member of the Parliamentary Defence Committee. I must tell you, I have spoken to, and my batchmates, my National Defence Academy batchmates are the service chiefs now. Air Force, Army and Navy are all three the same NDA batch from which I am. I must tell you, Agnipath scheme is a serious degradation of our armed forces. I'll just tell you in very nutshell. See, a normal of a Jawan or an airman or a sailor, their training was about 9 months to a year. Now, somebody silly can say, what is the difference between a year and 6 months? It's a huge difference, because even indoctrination takes a month and a half. So one training is insufficient. And in 3.5 years, this BJP government trying to, it's a disaster what's going to happen in the future. The ethos of the armed forces is our regimental spirit. To die for the country, to die for the regiment. But they destroyed that just because they want to save the pension bill. I've spoken to a number of serving and retired officers. Nobody has a logical answer for this. Why the Agnipath scheme and what is wrong with the existing scheme? Also, the numbers which should alarm us. For the first time, India is facing a very hostile situation on both Pakistan and China. Very unfortunately, our Prime Minister doesn't even want to take China's name, but undoubtedly they have transgressed into Indian territory. Now, in such a situation, you are actually trying to reduce the manpower with lesser trained people. See, the sanctioned strength of all three armed forces is 13 lakhs. The present strength of the armed forces is about 11 lakhs. Why is it shortfall? Because there is no recruitment during COVID. That's another strange thing. They could have elections in COVID, but they couldn't have recruitment for armed forces. Now they started recruitment. Recruitment even otherwise before COVID was 60,000 a year. That's the annual benchmark. Now they reduced it to 46,000. Only 40,000 for the army, 3,000 for air force and 3,000 for navy. So what they are doing is basically trying to reduce the pay and pension bill of the armed forces. I was a combat soldier, and most of my colleagues think that this is extremely foolish step, that this will seriously affect national security. And about what you asked, see, I don't want to compare the two because it won't look good. I mean, some ex-army person in Japan shooting down the Prime Minister, I don't want to draw a comparison. But I'll tell you one thing, I'll tell you facts and figures. Out of the ex-servicemen registered for employment in the 8 years of BJP government, not even 1% got jobs. Not even 1%. Now, they're trying to, just fool the people and saying, okay, we're getting central police forces to recruit, the Ministry of Sports, the Ministry of Aviation. Then why didn't they do it all these years? With a pool of much more trained ex-servicemen. They never took. I mean, I'm a head of several ex-servicemen associations. So this Agnipath scheme is poorly planned, ill-conceived, is definitely undermines India's national security. I still feel they should roll back.
So when I said he was an ex-serviceman, he also served for about 3 years. That's why I'm drawing a comparison to Agnipath, because here after getting arms training or any sort of combat training, they come out onto the streets into the civil society after about 4 years. So the potential risk of them knowing how to carry out such attacks or anything like this becomes much more.
I don't want to comment on the comparison.
Telangana issue is there.
Yeah.
Bangalore district incident is more than 60 people are died in the healthcare and 4 people died to contaminate water.
Yeah, see, that shows, what you said reflects everything about Telangana. It's all a huge show put up, as we call it in Telugu. They put up a show everywhere. On that particular incident which you said, on Mission Bhagiratha they called it, they lie everywhere. They lie in the state assembly, the figures they have sent to parliament is a lie. They're given to parliament the figures that 99% of Telangana households are connected with tap water, and that is filtered, and that is, what is it called, pure drinking water, filtered water.
RO plants.
Whatever, they listen. Now, the incident in Gadwal exposed that whole thing was a scam. We've been telling for years that the entire Mission Bhagiratha scheme was not for providing for drinking water for the people, was for filling their pockets. And that scheme has failed. It reflects the very, very poor governance, the huge corruption in Telangana, very unfortunate. So many children have, they have got, sacrificed for the corruption of Telangana government. We are taking up the issue very seriously locally also.
Sir, as far as the Udaipur incident is concerned, the information is now coming that while the killing took place on the 27th, the Rajasthan police had some sort of details about threats to this particular individual on the 20th itself, that they sat on such information. So was there any sort of lacuna from the Rajasthan police to question this week?
My information is not that. My information is that Rajasthan police, both before and after the incident, did what they could. I would rather still like to stress on the fact that this is what you said is what the BJP statement was. But I'd like to just my friend tell you that the BJP has nowhere countered what evidence and photographs we are showing. And that Facebook post where this person is called a BJP Karyakarta, that is what we want them to reply. Because on one hand you have a Nupur Sharma who tries to incite the Muslims, and on the other hand you have a Riyaz Atari who tries to incite the other community. Look at the diabolical game that the BJP is playing to disturb the communal harmony. I think this is what we should focus on. BJP is trying to disturb the communal harmony of this country for their narrow political gains.
Yesterday, Sharma Reddy told that Rashekar Reddy, after death, his name mentioned in FIR, forcibly by Congress leaders of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. What's your reaction?
I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
Yesterday, Sharma Reddy మాట్లాడారు. రాజశేఖర్ రెడ్డి చనిపోయినాక ఆయన నేమ్ ని ఎఫ్ఐఆర్ లో మెన్షన్ చేసినారు. దానికి కారణం తెలంగాణ మరియు ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్ రాష్ట్రంలో ఉన్న కాంగ్రెస్ లీడర్లు. వాట్ ఏం దీని కాన్సెప్ట్?
I really don't know this particular statement. Until you పొద్దున్నే వచ్చాను. I didn't see anything on the media also. But whatever it is, I want to tell you one thing. I mean, I'm somebody who worked with Rashekar Reddy for many years. He was one of our most respected leaders, and even after he passed away, we have given him the highest honor. Yesterday, for example, was his birth anniversary. We had a huge program. We had a huge program in the Gandhi Bhavan also. We respect and honor him, and we think he was one of the great leaders of this country. What she spoke, I don't know, but I can always find out and respond later. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.